What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I did a story last night about a lady named Alania Ford. She was the lady that's, it's been going around that of her shooting out the drive-through window as an employee at the Jack in the Box at some customers. Luckily, they didn't get hit. But I want to talk a little bit about the story, because the story I did last night, you guys had seen it, and it said today the people were going to have a news conference up there at the Jack in the Box, and that was yesterday. Yesterday they was going to have the news conference in the Jack in the Box, and they did have it. But they got an unexpected visitor, too, who came up there to tell her side of the story. And it was Miss Ford. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I said I called her a juggernaut, and I gave her a species name. But I honestly think, because I'm going to tell you something. Juggernaut is a species. And the species sometimes, at an early age, it just comes out pure species. But there's also a trait. And a lot of people have that trait. Sometimes you can get like a quick infection, but it doesn't stay. It's like when the hawk turns green, he turns back to David Banner. He's not full-blown hawk all the time. She said some things I felt in this video I'm about to show you, but a couple of things I think she was being disingenuous. But I mean, I had to come back and do a follow-up on this story because I think it's interesting. I think you guys will find it interesting too. Check it out and we'll talk about it.
Only on 13, the Jack in the Box employee who shot at a customer is telling her side of the story.
Yeah, we showed you the shocking video last night. She opened fire on the customers after a dispute over curly fries.
ABC 13's Jessica Willie spoke to that woman who no longer works for the fast food chain. Jessica?
Yeah, on the same day that customer and his attorney stood outside that Jack in the Box near Bush Airport to talk about this incident and put pressure on the restaurant, the former employee is defending herself. She claims there is more to this story.
She's aiming, she's leaning. She's not just going up in the air trying to scare people. She's trying to kill them.
This morning, attorney Randall Callanan and his client, customer Anthony Ramos,
Scared, that's for sure.
detailed the controversial curly fry incident and the shooting that followed.
It was pointed right at me. I don't know how she didn't get me.
And this afternoon, the armed employee on the other side of the dispute contacted ABC 13 to respond.
I want to clear my name and tell my story. That's not the whole story that they telling.
Alonia Ford Theriot says she worked for Jack in the Box for 15 years, most recently at the location on JFK where she says the job was dangerous. This was her in March of 2021. Ramos says he and his wife ordered a meal combo but didn't get the curly fries.
She said we weren't going to get them. That was it.
The confrontation escalated to food throwing, and Ford says racial slurs, which Ramos denies.
He kept saying, oh, you gonna make my order over. This is the type of talk about behind you. We hate like y'all.
She says she asked Ramos to leave. The video captures the gunfire.
The video does show you shoot at them. What if you had
if you hear the audio, you didn't hear the gun go off at all.
There is no audio on the video that was released, but according to court records, Houston police did find a spent shell casing. Theriot was initially charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, but pled guilty to a lesser charge of deadly conduct and got 1 year deferred adjudication, which she completed in June. She and the restaurant still face a civil lawsuit. Ramos and his family says they were exposed to a dangerous employee and were traumatized.
I served my sentence. I paid my fees. I did what I had to do. What else do you want from me? I can't give you nothing. But an apology if you want that, but I need the same thing. We both need to apologize to each other.
And in court filings, attorneys for the restaurant denied all allegations tonight. A company spokesman told me that they remain focused on providing a safe environment for customers as well as restaurant workers. We're live tonight in Southwest Houston. Jessica Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the follow-up to the story I did last night about Miss Ayanna Ford. And I got to be honest with you. Juggernaut trait or not, and that's what it was. She wasn't, I classified her as the classification was right, but it was just a trait. She wasn't full-blown juggernaut, and she did make a case for herself. And I'm going to bring up a few points. First thing is, I do give this girl respect. And the reason why is she didn't just sit back and, hear about this on the internet and just let it go. She cared about her name somewhat. They announced this story, I thought it was from yesterday, it was from the day before. They said in the video, hey, tomorrow they're going to come up there and talk and have a press conference. She heard it. I give that girl respect. And I give you respect. You heard where they was going to be. You went right up there because you had a story to tell us as also. As extreme as the situation was, once all of these details that she said came out, I kind of believe her a little bit. Now, a little bit of that story, I believe she was being disingenuous, like when she fired the shot or whatever. We seen that. You know what I'm saying? But first thing is, like I said, she showed up. You know what I'm saying? She felt as though she had to say her side of the story. I believe that it did get to a point where something was said to set her off. I was watching that last night. I'm like, for her to do that, something was said for her, because she threw the food and threw the stuff first. Normal encounters, something sets somebody off before they do something like start throwing stuff and risk their job, especially if you're, an employee. And she said she was there 15 years. Another thing, I asked a question where I said, hey, why would you have a gun at the job? She said something that they really didn't click in on me. That's over there near the Greenpoint area, Houston. And that's a dangerous area. You know what I mean? It's known for just being wild over there in certain spots. So she said, hey, yo, it's dangerous over here where I work. And I've been there. She's been there 15 years or she's been working in the area for 15 years. I feel what she said. So, I mean, I don't justify her taking a gun to work. But I mean, people do stuff when they scared for their life. I don't know what trauma she went through in her life or whatever. I don't know. But I mean, still to be upset and to get to arguing and saying, where you got to pull a gun out, that still is wrong, Ms. Ford. That's wrong. And nothing justifies that. I mean, he didn't punch you or anything like that. He was in his car just running his mouth. Customers do that sometimes. But like I said, the second thing was, like I said, I believe her. I believe that when the guy came up there, he done said something, regardless of whether it's her or what he said verbatim. I believe he kind of did say that, and I'm going to tell you why. If you look at the way she said that, she spilled it quick, and you could see the emotion in her face like she was reliving it. So I kind of believe her. Another reason why I believe her is, remember we said she got a crazy sentence, like deferred, like probation, and she just got off of that now. So it wasn't 1 year, it was 2 years, guys. She just got off of that, and she got that charge put on her. And I'm like, why she didn't go to jail? You fired a weapon out there in public and all of this other stuff, right? This is why I say I believe that what she said was somewhat real. I bet in that discovery, she should have took that discovery up there and showed the part of what he said and what they got from him, because it's wrong on both sides. So whatever was in that discovery, whatever they had did with their investigation, he said something that set her off, and the court looked at it like, well, you shouldn't have said that. And cause and effect. Remember I said life is about cause and effect, and that's what saved her. That's what saved her. So I believe there's some truth in what she was saying, right? Another thing is, the guy, for some reason, he gave me a funny vibe. The dad, he gave me a funny vibe. I seen how aggressive and wild he was acting. He arguing with the black chick. The Hispanic dude in the car, sometimes it's like a little bit of strife out here. I've experienced it. You know what I mean? And he ain't gonna tone down from his wife. You know what I'm saying? And I got a phone call coming through. I'm sorry, guys. He not gonna tone down with his wife. I apologize. I apologize for that. He not gonna tone down with his wife in the car. You know what I'm saying? So, and a woman's arguing at him. He probably stepped up like, who you talking to? Things got crazy. She gave him some in the mouth. He giving it right back to her. One thing lead to another. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But he just came off to me like a little funny, like he had a part. And I think he admitted it, like, I shouldn't have did that. Yeah, she shot at me and, you know, it wasn't unwarranted. But all in all, man, she came up there, y'all. She came up there and she said something like, hey, man, let me tell you, you're not going to drag me like that. Let me tell you what happened from my side of the story. And that should be a lesson. A lot of these news stories we do as content creators, we talk about the action that paints somebody in a bad light. She came forward, said something. Yeah, what I said last night made a lot of sense. But I mean, as far as like coming back and doing a evaluation and some of the statements, I had to do this because, you know, I respect her. I respect her now. Only one thing about her, she said, if you look at and you listen to the sound, it wasn't those shots. Man, when we saw that video footage, it was just planned. It wasn't no sound. Of course, we're going to go see the sound. We saw the shell flop there. Though. So you're being disingenuous a little bit about that. But listen, if anybody knows Miss Ayanna Ford, and out of my Houston listeners, and that was just a small thing. I would like to interview her. Get in contact with her. Give her my email address in the description box. Have her contact me. And I will talk and see if she wants to come on the show. I think that would be an interesting, you know, dynamic to have somebody sitting here telling their story of an actual crime I covered that you guys can see. You guys think that'd be a good idea? We can start doing that. If I have like local people, we could bring them and let them talk and give a better understanding of their side of why they did the action. Because I think it would be cool to just go into the mind of some of these people we do these stories on and then try to find a little bit of understanding of why people do the things they do, even though we all think they're crazy or like we think the action is crazy, to get better understanding so we can move forward and understand each other to where stuff like this doesn't happen. Leave me a comment. Tell me if y'all think that's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. But I mean, I give her respect. She came up there. So she's not the juggernaut. She just had the trait or she was infected with the virus temporarily. And it happens. But I'm Stock Market Steve. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. First video of the day, I stumbled. I'm sorry about the phone call. I didn't turn my phone on mute, but it is what it is. We're going to roll with it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.